So no, these sessions have been happening for a few weeks. You may have seen on YouTube also. I'm telling Rajendra actually. So if you watch little bit, half an hour from each of these sessions, you will get a hang of what we have done so far.
Sir.
So I'll just give a brief overview. What we are trying to do in the way saying we have to grow our light. You know, so here this light. I'll tell you from where we are coming. There is a very famous, sloka in Upanishads, Asudoma Sadgamaya, Tamsoma Jyotirgamaya, Mrityurma Mritangamaya. So Tamsoma Jyotirgamaya is, from darkness to light. Oh God, lead us. So in that sense, so light doesn't mean that tube light or some bulb light. Light meaning we become more aware, we become, more, wise and understand, how life is structured and how to make best use of our resources, talents, and be happier, healthier, more peaceful, harmonious as we go along in life. So in that sense we are using the word light. Okay, so and a hypothesis that we have is that we can continuously grow our light, and this is a hypothesis which is in contradiction to what the Western psychology used to believe earlier, which is personality gets fixed and can't be changed much. You know, there's a statement somewhere I heard. A person's nature and signature doesn't change. You may have heard it somewhere. So your nature and signature never changes because your nature reflects in your signature. In fact, there are experts who can see your handwriting and tell so much about you. You may know about it, right?
But then, sir, do you really believe that nature and signature I can understand, but nature doesn't change over time?
No, no, I am not saying what I believe. I am saying what is popular in the culture.
Yes, sir.
You
Yes,
know
sir.
very well what I believe in, isn't it?
Yes,
If
sir.
nature were not to change, then why we are wasting our time, right?
Sir.
So it is not like that, but I'm saying that is what the popular saying is. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So but we can grow our light, and by growing our light, our nature will change for the better. Signature is immaterial. I mean, it doesn't matter whether signature changes or not. I think if it changes, checks may bounce. Better doesn't change, right? But our nature can change, and it can become better and better and better.
Yes.
But if there's a relation between nature and signature, then even signature may change because there are experts who can decode your character using your handwriting itself. I don't know. I mean, that is a trivial question. But point is that we can evolve throughout our life, and there is no end to this journey because light can always grow. No matter how enlightened you are, light can always grow. And what is my basis for this statement? In Vishnu Puran, there is a particular sloka where it says that Vishnu is sleeping, and when he gives out breath, so many universes get created, and when he takes an in breath, so many universes dissolve. And how many universes Vishnu creates, he himself doesn't know. So Vishnu, which is God Almighty in this particular proverb or sloka, himself, which is God Almighty, himself doesn't know how many universes he has created. So forget the specific individuals in each universe. So idea is that Hari Anant, Hari Katha Ananta. We say in Hindi. So God is infinite, His creation is infinite. There is no end to it. So in that sense, I am saying each one of us, being a simple, puny little individual, can grow in light, awareness, understanding, wisdom, power, love, everything, infinitely, forever and forever. We can grow. Even God Almighty is growing. He had called me yesterday and told me like that. Okay, so you have to trust me. Okay, because God, by growing more, can create better universes. He's an artist, and each artist can become better and better at his game or her game. So today, I will start a new technique. I'll experiment today, okay? And as a teacher in colleges, I don't get much chance to experiment because syllabus is fixed. So one beauty of these classes are that I can experiment as much as I like, and hopefully these experiments will be good. But before I experiment, I'll share with you the basis why I'm doing this today. It will become very exciting, I'm sure, because afterwards you will yourself say, sir, let us explore this, let us explore that. I want to make these sessions your session, not my session. Okay, slowly, slowly, slowly. Okay, so far I have shared in last few weeks many other experts from outside, but little bit I will share from my side also. So I have been doing that, but I have been interpreting their lectures. But now I'll try to experiment a little bit as a teacher myself. But the basis for this experiment is that each word and each popular statement exists in any language, in any part of the world for a reason. First of all, do you agree with me or don't? Don't you agree with me? Each word which is in the dictionary of any language has a reason to exist. Do you agree or don't agree?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, no, something? Please say something.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
We have already recognized the thing. Just to name it,
some of
we
you
have
are
created a
on
word.
yeah, okay. So even when we have so-called synonyms, words with similar meanings, each word in that family of synonyms has a distinct flavor. Their meanings does not completely coincide. Each word is there for a reason. There are no two words which are absolutely same in meaning. Even when we take names of God, different names of God, each name of God has a different flavor, depicts different aspect of God. Are you with me so far? You agree with me? I will ask again and again. Agree with me? If you say yes,
Yes,
I will proceed.
Yes, sir.
yes.
Okay. So your job is just to say yes if you agree. If you don't agree, you can have a debate with me. Okay. Wherever. Generally, you will agree with me. Okay. So, what is that reason because of which words are created is my question to you. So you have to answer now.
No,
So is it for
we
different
have
kinds of expression that each word gives a different expression, a different shade of a color kind of metaphor. So each word has its own, like you said, meaning. Probably each expression is unique, though everything comes from one language or one source or one sound. But I think the expression is different, right? I mean, even music, if we look at it, it's from sound, and it's been so many years we are listening to different kinds of music. Though it is all from the same, probably six basic, sounds, but it has its own ways of combinations and very unique set of things that are there. We sometimes feel that many are repetitive. This is a similar sound to some other sound. This song is very similar to the other one. Though there are so many similarities that could be very close, but I think each tune has its own expression. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Rajendra, you were saying something. You have to
I was
unmute.
saying, yes, sir, yes. I mean, as a human, since our development, we have recognized the things, various things, but just to name it, we need to have words. Through our
So,
perception, we have recognized the things, but to name them, we need to have words. Like as you said, that gods have different names, but each name is reflecting on some particular quality of the god. So we have already recognized that quality. Just to name it, we have a name. We have given a name to this. So from there, what is emerging now? So you will tell better
no,
than
no,
me.
I mean, so I will, no, I will use your answer to go a little bit deeper. That's my job, right, as a teacher. So,
Sir.
Sachit's perspective was that, like 6 sounds or 7 basic sounds have produced infinite number of music and it is endless. We all agree that music is endless. No one can say that this is the last word in music, right? So it is like that. So similarly, Sachit says words are sounds ultimately when we speak them, and these sounds can be combined in multifarious ways to produce a number of words. That was the take he took, right? But there I will try to point out to Sachit that when we talk about words and why words were created, it is a little bit different from only sound. You can produce any sound you like, but when that sound is associated with a meaning, only then it becomes word. Sound without meaning cannot be called a word, right? So Sachit, no point. I am just sharing with him that sound with meaning becomes a word. Now, to coming to Rajendra's perspective, he says that there are many things around us, many feelings, many attributes, many qualities. because things are objects and feelings, qualities may be subtle, intangible also to the physical organs, but they're there. Like love, for example, we can't see, we can't touch, we can't smell, but we know it exists. We all know, right? When we feel love, all humans know what love is. They have experienced, right? All of us have experienced. It's an intangible kind of a thing, but exists. We can perceive it in our own subjective apparatus. So there is a word love which tries to capture that feeling. A mother's love, when I qualify mother's love for the child in any language. So mother's love, mother is one word, which means the person who gave birth to me, and her love. So love and mother combine, as Sachit was saying, like music. Two words can combine, two notes can combine. So mother is one word, one meaning. Love is another word, another meaning. And they both combine and become something very beautiful. So this was Sachit's point. Like, words can be assembled together and produce, different types of music, different types of meaning. So words become sentences, right? Like music, notes combine to become, songs. Words combine to become sentences. Sentences combine to each object that you name using a word, or each feeling that you name using a word, each anything you name using a word, that thing remains outside. But the word provides understanding in your mind about that something which is outside. Like when I say my mother, I can say, immediately if I close my eyes or even with my open eyes, I can remember my mother. You will remember your mother, isn't it? The word is say my mother or a mother, but each one of you will remember a different person because each one of us has a different mother. But the meaning is same. Are you getting me? Now, so what I'm saying is mother is outside, but the mother idea is in me. And using that mother my idea, I can remember my biological mother. So, I'm exploring Rajendra's perspective now. So if words were not there, let's say, if we could not or we did not create words, what will we be losing is another way to approach this question, to take us deeper, further deeper into this question. Do you see value in this discussion or you don't see the value in this discussion? Yes, no? You have to
Yes,
unmute yourself.
yes, sir.
Okay, Saju, why you see value in this discussion? This why is the important question.
Because these are many questions which superficially sounds very simple, but when we start answering this question, it sounds too very difficult to address the question. So then I think it is very important. These are certain questions we never asked ourselves.
So this is education for life. What we are doing now is education for life. We are exploring these things because we take language for granted. We take words for granted. We take power of speech for granted, right? But this is a God-given gift using which we are sharing in a community, right? So from where do words come? From where do words come? When any human uses words to speak or to write, from where is it coming? Whenever you're describing something, trying to explain something, from where is it coming?
Comes from within. It starts with a thought, I think, probably.
From where does the thought come? Because
What?
your thoughts are typically very peculiarly Sachit's thoughts.
Yeah.
And you are very familiar with these thoughts, right?
Mm.
Because you think Sachit type thoughts, Neha thinks Neha type thoughts. And you are very familiar with your inner world of thoughts. But from where do these thoughts come? Or whenever you explain or express or speak, what is the base from which it is coming?
Maybe the first thing is the sight, the pictures in the form of images, the thoughts come, and maybe the process of thought is so fast that the images converts into the form of sentences or words in the mind.
That is
We
true.
hardly recognize that images are converting into words or sentences, and the process may be so fast that we hardly take the cognizance of it.
So you are right in describing the process, but I am asking from where is it arising? The pictures or images or whatever. Have you ever-
Memory.
Memory, right? Memory. Correct. So when I ask you factual question, you use your memory. But when I ask you a subjective question where you have to express your own understanding or perspective, so there you're not using memory, you're using something else also. I'm trying to help you see different aspects of your own mind. So you don't speak from memory, because unless you have marked up something, if I put you on the spot and ask you something fundamental about life, let's say, what it is to be a good husband, let's say, something like that. So each one of you will speak your own understanding, right? And certain words will come out. So from where are those thoughts coming? Related to a specific subjective question.
Experience, sir.
So experience is okay, but experience has become something, no? Before you can use
Is
it.
it the subconscious mind?
No. Be very grounded. I'm being very, I'm being very direct. Nothing mysterious in my questions. Very simple questions. It's just we have not paid attention. Correct word is required, and the moment I'll say the correct word, you will be convinced. Yes, that is correct.
Is it the
Memory
worldview?
was memory was correct for facts. But when I'm asking you a subjective question where your own perspective is required, memory is not correct. Sadhu said experience. Neha says subconscious mind. But subconscious mind will not be able to articulate. Conscious mind can only articulate intelligently. Subconscious mind cannot articulate consciously. So that is why subconscious mind is wrong answer. I mean, why I explained why it is wrong answer. Correct word is required. Experience is right, half right. I mean,
Interpretation, experiences and their interpretations.
no. Be slow and be patient. In these classes, be very slow. There is no hurry. Because each answer will make you more enlightened. Your light will grow. I mean, okay, let me ask another question. In the last 1.5 months, or I don't know how long I've been doing it, has your light grown? We meet only on Sundays, right? Each one of you. Sachit, has your light started growing again?
Yes.
Saju?
Yes, sir.
Neha missed a lot of classes, but I don't know. Neha, are
It
you
did.
again starting to increase your light again?
Yes, sir.
Again, because it increased a lot during my courses, right?
Yes, it did.
Again, started to grow or no?
Yes. It
Okay.
does.
And as it is growing, are you feeling less frustrated and more peaceful or not? Okay, Neha is still frustrated. Okay. Doesn't matter. It's okay. It will go away. Yes, Saju,
Yeah.
do you feel more relaxed, Saju, compared
Yes,
to
sir,
earlier?
better. Of course, better. But in terms of certain intellectual conversations, I get perplexed as well.
That is okay. But so as your light will increase, no, you'll feel happier and happier and happier as time will go by. And if all of us can stay together for a few years, all of us will become more enlightened. Okay. Anyways, to come back to my question, so experience becomes something. What is that something? You're on the right track, Saju.
Is it the worldview?
Okay. Experience becomes knowledge. Experience becomes knowledge. And there are two ways in which we can experience: the intelligent way and the stupid way. Intelligent way of experiencing is to process the experiences. If you will sit with a notebook and pen, it will be good for all of you, because then otherwise 2 hour long session, you will feel bored. How do I search what sir told? Because it is a mountain, right? So if you make small notes, it will help, right? Like the old days, no, when you sat in my classes and learning that you have to submit. Okay, like that. So because these are very helpful things. So no, experiences can be processed in two ways. One is consciously, which is the intelligent way, and unconsciously, which is the stupid way. So what is the difference between the two? When you process the experiences consciously, you are paying attention to your experiences. And when you don't process the experiences consciously, you are not paying attention to your experiences. So when you are paying attention to your experiences, you are learning consciously. And when you are not paying attention to your experiences, you are learning haphazardly randomly. And in the second method of living, you become a victim of law of karma. You become a victim of law of karma because you become a jumbled human being, jumbled up. All kinds of experiences are happening from outside over which you have no control. Life is very random, right? Generally, is it not? And all kinds of experiences are impinging upon you. And they are becoming your subconscious knowledge. Because subconscious mind is absorbing all that. We saw no, in the last few sessions how subconscious mind gets programmed. That is how it gets programmed. Subconscious mind gets programmed unconsciously for most people. By age 6, by age 7, 8, that we discussed. And then to overcome those programs is very difficult, Herculean task, right? But now we are grown up people. And now we are being exposed to these techniques of growing our light, right? So experiences to become conscious knowledge, we have to pay conscious attention to our experiences. Then what happens? Experiences may be random for some time. After some time, they will not be random. Because it's a law of nature that as you grow in light, your life becomes less and less and less random. Why? Because when you are unconscious, you react to events and to circumstances. As you become more human by growing your light, you respond to situations. And as you start to respond to situations, you start to influence the situations to become favorable for you. People start to respect you and like you and love you and support you. You become a leader naturally. In the family, in the organization, everywhere you go, you become a leader. Naturally, you are a natural leader because you are a person with lot of wisdom and lot of control over the emotions. It's a beautiful control, not a dictatorial control. It's like you become like Shiva, no? You become like Shiva. Poison is given to him, but he is able to hold it in the throat and respond, not react. That is the meaning of that symbol. So, experiences can be processed consciously to become conscious knowledge. And then what happens? Now, if you do it all the time, then you are gaining knowledge exponentially through your experiences. Then anyone up there who is teaching us through experiences, we call him God or her God, can give us the next lesson and then the next lesson and then the next lesson. Okay. And very rapidly you become a teacher. And when you become a teacher, then God starts to teach through you. Like he is right now doing it through me. Okay. And your life becomes not random anymore. In this planet, the way it is, if you grow in consciousness a lot, it is very visible, no? You can't hide your light when your light grows a little bit more than normal levels. Are you following me what I'm saying? Are you with me? So these sessions are meant to create outstanding people, leaders. All my students who meet with me on Sundays, I want them to lead the planet within 4, 5, 6 years. It's not a small thing I've started. In my mind, I'm clear. It is just that whether you want to put a full stop prematurely or not. Because there's no limit to growth in light. Okay. Are you with me so far?
Yes, sir.
Because I'm not telling something which is weird. It is very simple. If I were to teach whole life every day from morning till night, also I will not be able to complete what I have learned in my life. Because human life is so rich. Each moment teaches something. Okay, but what is the secret of this knowledge? Secret I'm teaching today. Secret is to pay conscious attention. You can write this secret. Okay. The secret to life is to pay conscious attention. Why? Because we are human beings. And what it means to be a human being? It means to be an animal at birth. We are only a monkey at birth. Baby monkey, baby human is same. No difference at all. Okay. But baby monkey remains an adult monkey But a baby human doesn't remain a baby monkey. After growing up, becomes an adult human. But to become human from animal is not that easy. So when you're animal, you react to environment. Why? Because you are genetically programmed. You agree with me? Your ancestors' programs sit in your DNA. Yes or no? Please unmute and tell yes.
Yes, sir.
Don't we all resemble a little bit our father or grandfather, grandmother in our appearance also and behavior also? Is it not true?
Yes, sir.
So why is that? Because genetic programming is there. So because genetic programming is deeply rooted in the DNA, we cannot but react. Because programs make us react. That is what a robot does, reacts, right? Based upon the program. So that is being an animal, pure instinct program. Then the first 6 years of life, I explained earlier, theta state of mind. When the theta state of mind. The theta state of mind, we are in the dreaming state. Consciousness in the dreaming state. So child is in a dream-like state where whatever impinges upon the consciousness goes deep into the brain, to the very deepest core of the brain. I've explained that in another session. No, Rajara, you can watch that session. I've explained in great detail this particular thing. So Neha also. So what goes in the theta state in the brain sits in the very deepest core of the brain. Now alpha, beta, theta, delta is deep sleep. So theta is the deepest level programming that is impossible to unprogram unless you make tremendous efforts. Okay, and what comes in alpha state sits for long as a long-term memory, but it is not as deep as theta. And beta is a normal consciousness where we do our office job. I'm just taking 1-2 minutes to just bring Neha and Rajendra and Reena on the same page so that they follow what I'm saying. Because I will obviously refer to my earlier sessions, because it's a continuity. So experiences becomes knowledge. They become knowledge by paying conscious attention very rapidly. And when you live life like that, paying conscious attention to your experiences, you don't repeat mistakes very frequently. They say no, that you should not make the same mistake again. They say no. Now that capacity is there inside the human, but it is only going to develop if we pay conscious attention to experiences. So most of us don't pay conscious attention to experiences because I've explained in one earlier class, we have become our personality. We are not our personality. It's a strange statement to make, but you are not your personality is a very, very fundamental axiomatic understanding for my students. You can write it or write it in your heart. It is a very mysterious thing I'm saying for you because you think you are the personality. No, people say Rajendra is like this, Rajendra is like that. But Rajendra is like this, like that now. Rajendra is short-tempered, let's say. He is short-tempered now. But if he grows his light, he will not remain short-tempered. So that is why personality is not fixed. And whatever I am has to be a constant thing, right? Is it not? What is the proof, sir? Very simple. Take your album. 1-year-old Neha says, it is me. 5-year-old Neha, she says, this is me. 10-year-old Neha, she says, me. And today Neha, she says, this is me. All these Nehas, picture we can say have changed. But she says, this is me. So everything has changed. Body has changed, mind has changed, heart has changed, feelings have changed, desires have changed, ambitions have changed. But she said, this is me only. How? Because that she is constant. Are you with me so far?
Sir, I would.
Yes, sir. Yes,
There
sir.
is a statement, sir. There is a statement by one guru that mukti is not for the person, mukti is from the person. So I
Correct.
I feel that this captures the essence of what you said, that we assume ourselves to be a personality, but we are not.
Yeah,
We
so you are right, you are partially right, that Guru was knowing what he is saying, but he didn't say something, because if we say everything, the sentence becomes very clumsy. So because the power of the statement will be lost. It is true that We have to get freedom from the person, but that doesn't mean that we are embracing death. Because if I don't take the statement further, all of you will run away from my classes. Because sir is taking us towards death. No, I'm not taking you towards death, I'm taking you towards eternal life. Okay, are you with me? So each one of you will not die at your death. That is where I'm taking you. Asado ma sadgamaya, tamso ma jyotirgamaya, mrityorma amritangamaya. From death to deathlessness. Okay, that is where we are traveling. So, yes, if you stay with me, you'll reach there. So, but understand each thing. We have to get freedom from the ignorant person. See, today we are a Vyakti, right? Vyakti is expression of life, right? So, all our Abhivyakti, expression, is programmed mostly. Bruce Lipton told 5% conscious, 95% unconscious, right? So our Abhivyakti or expression, in terms of thoughts, words, feelings, behaviors, they are programmed. But we have to get the state of awareness where our Abhivyakti is not programmed. It is conscious, based out of perfect enlightened awareness. And that is what is transformative for people who connect with us. That is our leadership power. Okay, so we have to get freedom from the ignorance in the person. Krishna was a person or not? Rajendra, Krishna was a person or not?
Yes, sir.
He was a person. He was the
He was
perfect
a
person.
playful person.
He was the perfect person. So we are not getting mukti from the person by killing the person. We are getting mukti from the ignorance in the person so that we give birth to the enlightened person. Jesus becomes Christ. You know what I'm saying? Baby Jesus at birth, the monkey becomes Christ. How? By growing his light. Okay. So that is the idea. It's a journey. And don't be offended if you're a Christian. Okay. I didn't mean to insult Jesus. I meant to honor humanity. Okay. We all are baby Jesus and we all can become a Christ. Christ is nothing but state of perfect awareness. Perfect awareness means not that you know everything in the universe. It's just that you know who you are in your essence. So have we gone too deep? Have we got distracted? Let us again come back to the theme. We were starting with words today. We started with the words today. Words have meaning. And why words were created? Because each word helps us to become aware consciously about our environment. So I'm giving the answer now myself without waiting for you to give the answer now. Is it okay? So we all live in the environment. Environment is composed of many objects. Each object has a peculiar characteristic nature of its own. Fire is hot, water is cold, like that. You know what I'm saying? So air can be only felt on the skin, because it's breeze. So it's like that. Each thing has its own peculiar characteristic. And because of that, we want to name each one of them. So that when we talk with one another, the other person can understand what we are saying. When I say today it's very hot, each one of us knows what I'm talking to. I'm talking about the today's climate, right? So it is for mutual give and take of ideas that words are needed. And it is also needed for us to become very clear about what we are experiencing. See, if you don't have much words, a lot of vocabulary, you will not be able to understand life much. Is it not true? You agree with me? Words help us to understand.
Yes.
Sure.
As we grow in wisdom, our vocabulary also increases, right?
Yes.
Yes.
And our communication becomes more precise. Is it not?
Yes.
We are able to explain things much more clearly in a much more lucid manner, right? So words play a role by throwing light on different objects. Because the moment I have understood the specific features of a certain object, and I know the corresponding word, then that shows that I have become wiser to that extent. My knowledge has grown to that extent. Okay, so words play a role by helping us to become aware of the environment, outer environment and inner environment. So words related to feelings, inner environment also are very useful to express the inner feelings, right? So words have a limitation also. Words have a limitation also. When I say apple, that object I am referring to, which is a fruit, I cannot eat the word apple. I have to eat the real apple. So at best, words are only reflecting the truth. I can't eat the words. I have to eat the truth to get satisfaction, right? So words are only indicative. They are only symbols. They are not the real thing. We have to understand that. Okay. See, why are poets celebrated so much all over the world? Because poets are able to give words to the same feelings in a very beautiful way, in ever endless, enriching way. And in fact, more we read very beautiful poetry, more our consciousness starts to gain light. Because the same thing is being approached from so many perspectives, isn't it? Why we love poetry, why we love wisdom, why we love philosophy, because why we love great movies? Because each of them adds to our light. There's no end to our light. So idea is that each word is a source of light, knowledge. About what? About reality. Which reality? Outside reality and inside reality. So now I've answered my question. What are words meant for? And what will happen if words are not created? If words are not created to that extent, okay, let me revisit my statement. A certain culture has a certain language. In that culture, in that language, certain words are missing, let's say. And that word is present in, let's say, Hindi or Tamil or Malayalam or Sanskrit, right? Then what does it show? It shows that for those people in that culture, they are not aware of this particular aspect of life. For example, if there is a word Brahman in India, the ultimate reality, and that word is missing in a tribal society in Australia, let's say. That means that in thousands of years of their existence, none of their ancestors has seen Brahman. Now, just because they have not seen Brahman, doesn't mean Brahman doesn't exist. Is it not? Or, okay, that's a very deep example. I'll take a superficial example. Let's say avocado is a fruit, grows in North America. We don't have a word for avocado in Hindi because none of the guys living in the Indo-Gangetic basin has eaten avocado in that area. It doesn't grow there. There is no Hindi word for avocado because it doesn't grow in that area where these people live. So avocado is a fruit. It is there somewhere, but they have not experienced. So the word is not there in the language. Are you with me? So with this example, what I illustrated is that for each culture, their knowledge is captured in the words that exist in the dictionary. Yes. So words come from collective experience. Okay. So words represent the accumulated knowledge of that particular society to which that language belongs. Right? Now these words combine together to become sentences. And one particular set of sentences are called proverbs. Proverbs are found in every language, and each proverb is packed with lot of meaning. That is why these proverbs are used. Are you with me? So the technique that I was going to use today, now it has taken me so much time to lay down the foundation for using the technique. It was important. Because otherwise you will not pay attention. Why this technique is powerful. So I will now use this technique today. Technique is to use a proverb. We start to look at a proverb in a very deep way. What it means to you, what it means to us. Because each proverb has so much meaning, so much wisdom, hidden like a treasure, if we explore it a little bit deeper. Okay. So the first proverb that I will explore today, which is consistent with what we have done last few sessions, is God helps those who help themselves. The famous proverb, no? एक कहावत बोलते हैं हिंदी में, God helps those who help themselves. Okay. So I want each one of you to one by one share your perspective with respect to this statement. It's a wisdom statement, a proverb, or an accepted understanding in culture. What does it mean to you? There are so many words: God, then helps, then those who help themselves. So what does it mean to you? It's a very powerful statement. It has so much meaning hidden inside this. If you understand very deeply, our life will change. The way we live will change. Who wants to go first? Sachin, you want to try?
Yeah, sure. I was just thinking on the initial thoughts that come to my mind. So when I generally think about God helps, I always underline one belief system that runs in my mind is, that I'm always guided and protected. These are certain underlying beliefs that I always have. So saying that, there's always God is with me, He helps me. But that is only with these two words, which is God helps. But when you look at helps those who helps themselves. So if I don't intend to help myself to grow my life, if I don't, for example, I'm relating to few immediate things that we spoke about. You said about just recently about killing the ignorant person or mukti from the ignorant person. So if I don't take certain steps towards at least not being ignorant, then that is the help that I'm able to relate towards. That is about helping myself. Trying to be like me sitting here, us sitting here in this class on a Sunday, spending some time understanding to grow our life. So that is like one of the steps to move away from that ignorant being. And if we don't help ourselves in that manner, then even God would not help us. Meaning to say, though God is a benevolent parent in that context, that every parent would want the best for everyone, right? A parent would never want something wrong for their children. Though that is the reality that God wants the best for every single being in existence, but if I'm not able to connect, if I'm not able to reach out to the parent, if I'm not able to somehow make that alignment in some form, then that doesn't reach me. There are multiple parallel thoughts that are coming as
It's a deep statement. It's a deep statement. Yeah, obviously. I mean, yeah, we just started, right?
Yeah. So until now, these are the thoughts. But yeah, I think I'll take a pause and then think more. And
Yeah. So no. So to respond to what you said, I'll give an example. Like, let's say a river is there and water is there, and we are living in prehistoric times when we don't have taps and all in the house. So we go to the water source, which is the river in this case, and drink water. Let's say, right? Now someone dies of thirst in the vicinity of the river because it doesn't go and drink water. Doesn't make the effort to go and drink water. Then we can't blame the river, no? It is because the help was available. The river is a help in this case, was available, water was available. But the person didn't go to the river, didn't make the effort to quench the thirst. So like that. So God can be compared to an eternal source of, joy, peace, love, wisdom, and protection. But if someone doesn't make effort to connect to that source, then can we blame God? So the way I see, this particular aspect of God is like a marriage, In this marriage, God is like a common, spouse for everyone. Everyone can marry God. God has infinite ability to marry everyone. Okay, and don't take it a literal marriage. I'm using metaphor. Idea is that anyone and everyone can become friends with God or become married to God or whatever, form a relationship with God. So because he or she is infinite. It is just that some people make the effort to connect and then they get the benefit, the guidance and the protection and the help. So in that sense, you are telling. So if you don't make the effort, like Sunday class is happening, right? I have announced it as best as I can among the circle that I belong to. So many people could get the time to attend. Some people could not get the time to attend, and some may not even want to attend because the explorations may not be interesting enough to spend a Sunday doing that, right? So there is no judgment involved. The idea is that we get to the extent we make the effort. Is it not? So it's like that. So there is another statement: no pain, no gain. So little bit pain is required in life to gain. I mean a good gain. So there's a good gain, there's a bad gain. Bad gain is given by Rahu, okay? No, windfall profit is Rahu. I don't need to earn, but I get it. Now that is accumulating karma. You'll have to pay back later. Okay. That is why in many religions, in Islam particularly, usuri is not allowed. Usury. There's a word called usuri. It's not allowed in Islam. What is usuri? Usuri is trying to earn money on money. Interest, what we call interest, no? So all the banking is not allowed in Islam. Banking and lending money on interest, not allowed in Islam. In Islam, if you give 100 rupees, you expect 100 only. You cannot take 101 because interest is haram. Islam mein haram bolte hai, haram. So why? There's a reason. Prophet had told not to do it. Because the moment you start to earn something which you have not earned with your effort, that is karma. And if you see, if you get too much money too fast, what does too fast means? Too fast means there's a level of consciousness that you have. For each level of consciousness, you can hold only that much money. I don't mean can. Let me refine the statement. You should hold only that much money. Because these days, you can get more money than what you deserve under quotes. When I say deserve, I don't mean Rajiv sir's certificate is required. No, in terms of level of consciousness that you have. I'm not being a dictator, I'm just being a teacher. Okay. Given the level of consciousness that you have, only that much money you should hold. Should means if you hold more money than what you should hold, it is going to harm you in some place. Either relationship or health or somewhere. Because you are going to misuse that money. You are going to abuse that money. Money is power, right? So similarly, the way God has made this universe is the power that you command over nature is commensurate with the consciousness that you are at. If you could become very enlightened, you could actually start to command nature also. I have experienced Amma's power over nature many times. Okay. You may not believe it, but I have seen that. So at a certain level of mastery, even the elements respond to you. Often people say, no, Amma went to some place and there was scorching heat. But for the 3 days when Amma remained, it was very beautiful atmosphere for 3 days in many cities. How it happens? So people say it's a coincidence. Maybe God loves Amma. I don't know God loves Amma or Amma loves God or what, but there is something. At a certain level of consciousness, you can even influence the environment, even physically. So, anyways, I think I have taken a huge sidetrack. That's my basic either a fault or a strength, I don't know, but that is how I am. So, time just goes by just somehow, anyways, I don't know. Did I add some value? I don't know. Anyways, I blabbed for some time. So, yeah, if someone else wants to share, God helps those who help themselves.
I can go next.
Yeah.
So, what I was thinking is, it's basically you need to nurture, care, um, learn and unlearn to grow your self-awareness. And for some reason, I'm not able to perceive God as an external source over here. So, what I feel is you need to help yourself to grow yourself, basically, to gain more consciousness and know who you are.
Very good. I like your perspective very much because it's very true. For example, in India, in many households, Bhagavad Gita is kept. or Ramayana is kept, or Mahabharata is kept, or many wisdom books are kept, right? But how many people make the effort to actually pick that book and read it? I have noticed very few people do it. Is it not true? So it's like that river, no? That river I gave an example. River is very much there in the home, river of knowledge. But very few go to drink the knowledge. Why? Because they are not thirsty enough for that knowledge. So when they are not thirsty enough for that knowledge, they will not quench that thirst, because they don't feel the urge to quench that thirst. So as Neha told, so first, no, we have to nurture ourselves, make efforts to grow our light, ourselves. Only then the light grows in us. So for example, in her thing, she will go and pick Bhagavad Gita or pick a good book, or let's say that, I refer to some great book often. Then she respects me. Rajiv sir is a good teacher. Let me see and go and read this book. Maybe that is the effort. So that is self-care. In this case, let's say I said something. So why can't we take it as a sign from God? Because another mistake we can make is that we may think, oh, God will come in some specific form which I understand, like Krishna himself will come and tell me one day. But what if Krishna was using me to speak? It can be like that, no? For example, my guru is Amma, and let's say that I'm teaching on a Sunday. Who knows? Amma may have motivated me from inside, influenced me from inside. It may be like that, no? So that when I'm doing this, maybe many ideas Amma is giving me, sharing with you by influencing my mind. I'm not saying that I don't know what I'm saying. I know that, but even my knowledge could be given to a large extent by inspiration from my guru. So what I'm trying to say, it's a very mysterious universe. If you decide to help yourself, you will get help from so many places. You would have noticed that when you try to learn something, let's say music, I have seen many cases like that. You have an intense desire to learn music. Suddenly, some strange coincidences happen, and your father gets transferred to a place where you find a very great musical teacher and you start to learn music. It has happened to people, no? For some great musicians, you will see such synchronicities. Carl Gustav Jung, we discussed earlier, synchronicities happen when you want to help yourself. So in that sense, what Neha was saying is making sense to me. And she says, I have not met God as an external source so far, but I have seen that when I take care of myself, my life improves. That was her take, which I agree with. Unless you make efforts, you will not be able to improve. For example, drug addiction. Many children become addicted to drugs. Now, is it God's fault that you become a drug addict? Is it God's fault if you don't try to break free from that? Now, someone can tell that in this universe, why God made a drug. One may question, but then there are people who may take drugs intelligently. All the sadhus, you go to North India, Himalayas, they are all taking ganja and afim and charas. They will chillam laga ke, Bholenath ki jai, and they will, bum bum bhole, you know what I'm saying? So they are enjoying and they are blissful people, so they are not misusing it. Because, it is true that drugs, if you take little bit in a controlled manner and you know what you are doing, it can trigger those parts of the brain which normally are not active. What you call superconscious brain, some aspect of superconscious brain get triggered very easily. So meditations can help you more actually with the influence of these drugs. I'm not saying start going and taking drugs. What I'm saying is that nothing is intrinsically bad in this nature. Everything has a certain usage somewhere. Let us not I know potassium cyanide, the most dangerous poison. It has been used by homeopaths to make a medicine, very powerful medicine. It is called Kali cyanatum in homeopathy. I am myself a homeopath. So Kali cyanatum in many cases of diphtheria, when the throat is gone, they cannot be saved unless they take Kali cyanatum. The powerful poison, no? In the last stage of diphtheria, it can recover the person. The poison has become medicine. So even the poison has a usage inside hidden. You have to uncover that. So let us not question, the intelligence that has made this universe, and let us, do our part of the job. So let us help ourselves. That is what Neha was saying. That she is Experiencing that when she helps herself, her life improves. That is her take. Okay. Yeah, who wants to go next?
Sir, sir, I have my thoughts on it. That what I think that every thought that we have becomes a seed for manifestation in the physical world. And I truly believe I read one book, As a Man Thinketh by James Allen, and he says that the thought, the physical conditions, the circumstances that we are into, are the result of all the previous thoughts which we had in our mind. So God helps those who help themselves. It starts with us only. Everything starts with us only. What kind of thought we are having, and that only will grow in our physical world. So in that sense, and God as an entity, I don't see, as Neha said, that it's not any external entity. It lives in each one of us. So what thought we are having, what sankalpa we are taking, all this will manifest in the external world, in our relationship or whatever the physical conditions, external world. So in that sense, I feel that God helps those who help themselves, and who helps themselves has a nuance of very, very consciously. I'm having a thought, or I'm trying to do something. I'm taking a sankalpa to do something. So in that sense, I'm helping myself, which will again. So this is my understanding of.
Okay, so when you were saying no, so one thought which came to my mind was no, the take that you have is like action and reaction. Like whatever thoughts I have, they are like seeds, and then they sprout into certain actions, certain behaviors, and these actions have repercussions, and they come as our future conditions. So in a way, you are telling in a subtle way the law of karma itself, and that is what it is. One aspect of it is that as we think, so we become, or as we think, so we
And
create
it is
our
not
life.
only limited to that, sir. Even the synchronicity that we talked about sometime before, that we are complete in um, synchronicity with our external environment. If we are not very peaceful inside, our external environment will not be very peaceful. Or if we are not feeling prosper inside, there will not be prosperity around. So our even external situations are completely in synchronization with us, our internal state of being.
Yeah. So I'm trying to explain the same thing, just the words are
Yeah.
different. That is what I'm trying to explain. So what you are saying is that you know, it's like if I go before a mirror, so only my face the mirror will reflect, or my physique. Similarly, what Rajendra is saying is that as we have been living in the past, using our thoughts, feelings, words, actions, everything, the entire expression of my personality, the external environment is reflecting it, right? Is it not? So what I have done or what I have been doing is mirrored by the environment that we see around us. That's what he's saying. Now this was also pointed out by the mother of Pondicherry, Aurobindo's partner, spiritual partner, the mother of Pondicherry. She also she used to teach this, that don't blame the environment, don't blame the circumstances, don't blame other people for victimizing you. That is not true. In fact, it is you who have created the environment. Now you may wonder that how it is possible. My brother is like very bad person, or my boss is a very bad person or a very angry person. How I am controlling him or her? That is not what she was telling. What she is telling is that you have attracted yourself to this environment because of your vibration. The level of consciousness at which you are vibrating, at that level you are producing that type of thoughts, that type of feelings, that type of perceptions, that type of reactions, that type of behavior, and that is what is responsible for bringing you to this unpleasant environment. So if you want to change your environment, you change yourself. Don't transfers happen? They happen. Can't we change our job? Can't we get a sudden opportunity, a better opportunity? We can get, no? One phone call will come and you'll get a great job. It's so simple, right? Or you will see something and you will try and you will get it. So it's not that difficult to escape a certain environment. Such things happen all the time. We should never be pessimistic. That's what he's saying. So what Rajendra is saying is that it is bringing responsibility on our shoulders. That let us not blame the image in the mirror. Let us, take a bath and maybe shave and maybe, dress up a little bit, and the image will increase, it will improve. So like that, let us educate ourselves, let us grow our light little bit, let us take pains to, work upon ourselves, and as we work upon ourselves, the environment changes. Right? So that is what he was telling. So in a way, Newton's third law, action reaction, it's like that. The reactions that you're experiencing is basically based upon your own actions. So rather than blaming the consequences that you're experiencing, you look at how you have created those consequences. That is what his take. In a way, he is expressing the law of karma in a more deep way. And that shows Rajendra has done a lot of work also, and that is very good. So what you are contributing will help to enrich the class. Very good. Okay, Shaju, you want to go next?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, I would just like to express my understanding on this topic through a joke. There was a devotee of Lord Shiva who actually wants to get his lottery ticket to win.
Shaju, just 1 second. You don't mind? I'll tell my wife to make a tea for me.
Sure,
Okay.
sir.
1 second. Sorry, please,
So there was a devotee of Lord Shiva who did puja for a long period, and at the end of the puja, he will ask Lord Shiva, "Hey God, let my lottery ticket win this time." Okay, so after this puja went on for many time, and finally in Kailasa, goddess Parvati insists Lord Shiva, "Hey, how long he has been worshipping you for this purpose? Why don't you let his lottery ticket win this time?" Then Lord Shiva says, "I'm ready to do that, but let him take a ticket first." Okay, so he was not taking a lottery ticket, and he was worshipping the god to get his lottery ticket to win. And there is also a very beautiful saying in Bible, sir. It is the duty of a duty is work is assigned for human beings, and a miracle is for God. So you might have seen that movie Manji, in which that person is cutting the whole mountain for the sake of his wife to reach the hospital. So there is a conversation in between. This person says, means ये सब भगवान के ऊपर छोड़ दो, तो क्या पता है भगवान इसके लिए ये सब भगवान के ऊपर छोड़ दो, यही था उसका कहने का मतलब. देन द अदर पर्सन सेज, क्या पता है भगवान हमारे ऊपर भरोसा करके बैठा हो. So this is the way how I understand this concept. It is our duty to do the minimum jobs, at least whatever possible at our end, and when our duty completes, we do our 100%. There will be God to do miracles to accomplish that task.
So I am reminded of a story which Amma often relates actually. So in the end, it's a long story, I'll just cut it short. So in the end, what happens, there's a particular statue of God in a certain village, and thing is that, and there is a caption below the statue which says that, children come to my arms, and I am there to take care of you, something like that. Okay. So some atheist fellow who doesn't like God, who believes that, it's a bullshit, in the night time when everyone is sleeping, he breaks the both hands of that statue, because God's arms are like that, and children come to my arms, I will take care of you. You find solace in me. So he broke both arms, and this person thought that a God who cannot save his own arms, how can he protect and help others? No, God helps others, right? But he can't help himself. His arms I could break. He could not protect himself. How such a God can protect others? It's a very logical thing. Logic is like that, no? It thinks like that. Now, God, fortunately, is not that crude or gross that if you want to break the arms of his statue, he will come and fight with you. Because if he were to do that, he's reacting, no? Right? He's not like it. God never reacts. God only loves to co-create with us, not react to stupid people. And it takes so much, of the word punya, to see God actually live, So this guy, by breaking arms and breaking people's legs, obviously he can't get a darshan of God, right? So he thought, this God cannot protect himself. So how he'll protect the village? So, people were very, and then he was preaching like that. And then what happened? No, many villagers started to get convinced by this guy that yes, it is right, no, logically, because God could not protect his own arms, so how he will protect us? Then a wise man in the village who understood the, significance, he was very worried that people are losing their faith in God because of his experience. So what he did now in the night time when everyone is sleeping, see how two minds work. He just added below that caption that my children, I have no other arms except yours. So beautiful, no? Amma says this story. So God has no arms except yours. So your arms you use for providing solace to people. That is how God works. So God is an inspirer. God is not a dictator. It's a very important understanding. God is an inspirer, not a dictator. So if you have even one small iota of inspiration, a little spark of inspiration, then it is God's duty or his nature to make it into a flame. So if you have little bit of inspiration, no, God will make it king size inspiration. So much so that you can influence the whole community, whole village, whole city, whole organization. So that is God's nature. So that is what I got reminded of, So what you say is so beautiful. Idea is, what Sadhu is saying is that maybe the popular understanding of God is faulty. It's not a physical person. God is a ultimate kind of a power which becomes active only if you make at least some effort, like buying the lottery ticket. If you make no effort at all, then you will not get the grace or God's help. So little bit effort is required. Amma says that effort and grace. Okay. Amma says a lot of effort is always very little effort. No matter how much effort you make, in front of God's eyes, it will always be very little effort. So God is not judging you for the immense efforts that you are making. No. It is like, parents, Sachit said parent, no, like a parent, he's like a parent. When a child is making so much effort from the core of his being, that moves God's heart. Like any parent's heart, no? Then God feels love for us. And then he pours his love on us. I have been a recipient of tremendous amount of God's love in my life. So I know from my experience that I made efforts from my side. I mean, believe me, I have made as much effort as I could in my lifetime to reach the truth. That was my qualification. But then God blessed me. Tell me before me, actually, it is historically true, before me, which I am student, PhD student, studied happiness, no one. Which FPM graduate before me is allowed the privilege of earning his daily bread by teaching happiness? No one. It was unknown in this country, unknown in the world. I was maybe the first teacher in formal education to teach happiness. Harvard started after me. I started in 2007 and they started in 2009. It is factual. It is true. It is actually true. So that is the power of God's grace. What else you want a proof? That is, I am a living proof of this. He created a new job for me because I was making the effort. That is miracle only, That is miracle only. So I have done something by God's grace which is being acknowledged now. Right? So idea is that all things great and beautiful that you will be able to do will be by grace only. But to earn that grace, you have to buy the lottery ticket. You have to make the effort. You have to make the effort. Right? Very good. So anyone, Reena has left. So that leaves only me. So I have to share my perspective because, my son is there. He's a very wise man. I don't know whether he's listening to me or not. Rohan, are you listening to me? Rohan? He's a very wise boy. Very proud of him. Are you listening to me? God helps those who help themselves. Switch on your camera, let my students see you and share. He's very shy. Okay. Switch on your camera and say your perspective. He's my student from birth, right? Okay. Okay. He's more talented than me, by the way, okay, in this area. Okay. Okay. Yeah, please speak. I'll just drink water. One second.
The meaning that we can infer from this is like we look at the world as a whole system where and how we spoke about synchronous events in the first session itself. So if we try to help ourselves, even synchronous events that happen because we are trying to help ourselves. The world itself can be seen as a system that is meant to help us reach where we are supposed to reach. Like we are supposed to realize who we are, we are supposed to attain that realization, attain the level where we can say that we have realized that we are God Almighty Himself. And I think the world is made in such a way that if we actually try to help ourselves in a very genuine manner, help will come. Like, there is no way that help won't come. Even if we are in a very difficult situation in life, and we believe that our growth will resolve this issue, the issue will be resolved. It may be a painful process, but it will eventually happen. That's what I think.
Okay. Anything more?
No.
Beautiful. Did you like his answer? Yes, no?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we'd like to see him more.
You want to see him more? Okay, I'll try to tell him. Okay. So shall I add? So, my perspective?
Sir.
Okay. It will be a little bit long answer, little bit, but bear with me. There will be many shades to what I will say. Okay. For something you can even take basic notes also. Okay. The key points. Because perhaps I will never speak about it again, right? Because already we have covered this topic. Let us first of all understand. See, let us look at this statement. God helps those who help themselves. So God helps. That is the first two words, which means help is available. Now, this statement in different ways is found in many languages in the world. It's not only in English. In many languages in the world, this statement is there. Why? Because people have experienced God's help. Many people before us have experienced God's help. So God's help is there. That is what it says first. God helps, then those. Now, those means God's help is there. The very fact that even the greatest sinner is able to wake up in the morning shows that God's love is absolutely unconditional. Is it not? Otherwise, how will he wake up? He could have died in the sleep itself, no? So it very much tells that God is there, but he is not an angry God or a judgmental God or a violent God or a hateful God. And the fact that the very great criminal woke up in the morning or wakes up in the morning every day and does all kinds of nonsense acts, doesn't mean that God approves of his behavior. That is a wrong understanding. It's like a parent whose son or daughter is doing something very bad, but does the parent go and kill the child? No. So it's like that. God will not kill the child. That is not God's nature. God is like any loving parent, immensely loving parent. So that is why even criminals are actually able to live their lifespan. Okay. Second is that even when criminals commit heinous acts and a lot of people suffer, in some way karma is operating. The people who are experiencing the evil behavior of a criminal, they in some manner had inflicted those wounds upon that criminal. Karmically, he is drawn to only such people who made him the criminal in the first place. And hence, they are reaping the karmic repercussions of what they did to him. And this connection is coming from previous lifetimes. Are you with me so far? I'll take a pause. I already said a very intricate idea. And this will help you to find some peace when it comes to seeing some criminal acts happening around you, where you can't help the situation. Are you with me so far?
Yes.
So, God helps those means this extra help. Why I took criminal example is because everyone is being helped. The criminal is an extreme example that even he is being helped because he gets up in the morning. No, he is using his hands to do all kinds of violent acts. God doesn't paralyze his hands. That is help, no? So he is allowed to live his life the way he or she lives. So that is help. But still God helps those means not this type of help is being referred to. What is available to all, even a criminal. What is being referred to is extra help or greater help. We all need help. We all need help because life on earth is so tough. Why it is so tough? Because it's a material world, physical world. In the physical world, we experience a lot of limitations, all of us. You know, I'm driving a car or a bike, anything can hit me and I may get severe injuries and I may land up in a hospital, right? Life is like that. Physical plane, life is very dangerous. Anything can happen to me. Or a thief can, simply come and stab me. So idea is that life on earth is very tough. Or I can catch a corona or adenovirus or cancer or whatever. So life, in physical, existence is very tough. So we all need help and we can't understand everything using our intellect. Do we know everything? No, we are very limited in our knowledge, in our, in our understanding. So we are not omnipotent or omniscient. We know very little. We have very little power. So we all need help. To go from Asdoma Sadgamaya Tamsoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityurma Mritangamaya. Destination is that Sad, light and deathlessness. But it is not that easy. It's a very long path. It takes immense amount of journey to reach there. So we all need help in that journey. So God helps those. So those meaning there are some people who receive more help. We may be some of those people. Very fact that we are meeting on a Sunday and discussing these things, are we making effort or not? We are making effort, right? And all of you who are in this session, this class, and there are many other students also who watch the videos later, didn't you always want some more light and some more understanding in life? Is it not true?
Yes. Yes, sir.
So God helps. So God sent me and motivated me, right? And prepared me also to be able to play this role. I am being prepared for many years to be able to play this role. So your desire and my preparation by God's grace are both correlated, synchronous. Rohan said, no, when you really want something very badly, synchronicity will happen. So I am a part of synchronicity, you are also part of the synchronicity. So your desire and my desire to know the truth has become this class, has become the Grow Your Light group. So you see, effort and grace, they are related. So we are those, God helps those. So we are the part of those who God helps little bit more through synchronous events. Okay, so God helps those who help themselves. So now those is being qualified. Who are these those? What is the quality of these those? Who help themselves. So prerequisite to that extra help from God is we have to help ourselves. As Neha told, as Saju told, and as Rajendra told that, we are responsible for our own life conditions. So if we keep repeating the same ignorant patterns of behavior and thought, we will keep experiencing bad, fortune, bad circumstances, unfortunate circumstances, which means God is not helping us. As Rohan told, no, even if we are in the worst possible conditions, even there, if we have faith in God and do our bit, help will come and the situation will resolve itself. It is true, very true. See, not everyone afflicted with cancer dies. Some people actually use the cancer to become a very healthy and very beautiful person. There are many cases like that. They go through an overhaul of the entire system of their life. Everything changes about them. And then after the cancer, you see they're a glowing human being, glowing with wisdom and love. You may have seen such people, right? So it is not that cancer kills always, but cancer kills most of the people. But even in the most severe cancer, God helps those cancer patients who help themselves. That is what it is. So if you make the requisite effort, the cancer cells will start to gradually vanish. Now, did God give the cancer? No. Then who gave the cancer? Law of the universe gave cancer. What Rajendra was saying, you did certain kinds of things that manifested as cancer. But that doesn't mean that past is the more important part of the equation. Yes, cancer is result of my past actions and past thought patterns, past karmic patterns. But whether I will die of cancer or not will depend upon God helps those who help themselves. Because God's help is there and He does help those who help themselves. That is the idea. So if you start helping yourself, even in the most desperate situation, God starts helping. How He will help? He may help in many ways. Suddenly, one relative may visit, one friend may visit and tell, "Arey, I know of these 10 cases cancer. He went to this particular place, this particular treatment, he recovered. They all recovered." It is information, it will come your way. Sorry about that. So what I was saying, so even in the most dire circumstances, help is available. So this tells that we should never be pessimistic. We should never be pessimistic. No odds are so huge that we can't come back from it. Even from the worst possible conditions, we can come back, provided we want to help ourselves, because God's help is always there. So God helps those who help themselves. There are many stories, like where, even in the prison, someone, who has been convicted for life, they are exposed to some meditation, like Vipassana, for example, Vipassana meditation or something. Someone came and gave in the prison and they started doing it in all earnestness. And, and it so happened that, within 5-6 years of starting that, they started to transform. Their nature became very peaceful and very, very helpful, and there was a genuine change of heart. So the entire, prison, staff became very friendly. The fellow prisoners became friendly, became a source of inspiration, and became a leader kind, in the prison itself. And the jailer and all will depend upon such people, to maintain harmony inside the jail, because there's a community there also. And, as a result of this good behavior, recommendation was made very strongly. And this person is outside the jail in 5 minutes, 5 years, 6 years, a very changed man. Then they go out and start a new life, and, they live 30, 40 years more, a beautiful life. There are many cases like that. So, it's not that nature can't change. Nature and signature, that signature I don't know, but nature can certainly change. If we make effort, help is always available. So God helps those who help themselves. And this Amma story, that God has no arms but yours. That's a very, poignant and very, very, very useful metaphor to understand that we wait for God to help and to save us, or to change the situation in the earth. Let's say this environment crisis, for example. It's a very huge problem. We are in that problem situation, what Rohan was telling, in a very bad crisis situation. Many of us give up in despair also. Okay. Personally, I also know that a lot of pain will come. A lot of people will suffer a lot. For example, water crisis is looming on the horizon. Amma is telling again and again, water may run out in many cities. The way it is going, Amma is clairvoyant. She can see under the ground also. So, in 10, 15, 20 years, cities may not have water. Many cities may not have water. Now, what will do without water? How much water you can, distribute in a place like Chennai or Mumbai? Not that easy. Crores of people are living in the same place. How many trains will be needed? Is it easy? Then maybe in the entire railway track will be occupied by such trains only carrying water. So what will people do? What, not I'm saying system can take only that much, shock. Beyond a limit, any system will start to, crumble, isn't it? Are you following what I'm saying? So, such things are on the horizon. Lot of pain will be there. But then point is, and maybe we ourselves will be suffering because we are also, living in many cities. But point is that it's not to frighten ourselves. It is to just say that Rajendra said, no, like we are creating our own reality. It is very true. Have we not created this reality, this climate crisis? Through our own actions only, collectively, we humans have created this crisis through our, ignorant actions. But then does it mean that we can't, recover? We can recover because God has no arms but ours. So we have to, each one of us has to understand this and start to make our contribution. So another reason why I started this Sunday classes is because this I understand now that, see, we are basically units of consciousness, each human. It is just that what is our motivation? Do we want to take or do we want to contribute? This is a very important question. I'll take a pause. Just think a little bit what I'm saying. I'll ask you one more question. Who likes to take and who likes to contribute? We all are humans, you agree? All of us, we all are similar only because we are humans. Who among us likes to only take and take and take more? And who likes to contribute? It's an important question.
People with the underlying feeling of lack, they are the ones who would want to only consume, only take more and more from the outside. But giving happens when you have unconditionality. You're completely filled. You're completely overwhelmed. Then only you give and give and give. So,
Beautiful answer. Beautiful answer. Absolutely the same thought that I have. You start to overflow. You are so filled, so fulfilled that your cup runneth over. No, Christ told, your cup runneth over. No, like I'm drinking this tea. If the tea is too much, it will overflow, and others can also drink it like that. So when I'm filled with, unconditional love and abundance, then I start to give. Right. So people who like to contribute are fulfilled from inside, isn't it? So we like to contribute, and why we are contributing? Because we know that it's a community. We live in a community. So if we live in a community, then our contribution matters. And especially in an internet-enabled world, where everyone is linked together to one another, it just needs little bit grace, divine grace, for these ideas to spread like wildfire. And you can do your bit by sharing these videos, and by helping me. For example, one help I need, if someone can help me, I mean, maybe someone can watch the video and also offer help. My son's college will start now. He does it today, works upon these videos, and I'm sure that in every 2-hour session there are many snippets which can be shared, 10 minutes, 6 minutes, 5 minutes. But he doesn't have enough time to go through all these videos and do that. If someone can offer help, let's say I share the video with you, and if you can convert that into small snippets on themes, 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 7-minute theme, because people don't have patience to watch 2 hours, but maybe they can watch 5 minutes, 7 minutes, because in the same lecture I have shared so many things. So if someone can help with that, it will be a great help. Maybe you have someone, or someone, or someone can do it, or you yourself have the skill and you want to volunteer. You can do that. It will be a great help. So because these things can reach out to more and more audience, because then they can be made viral. We can share in different groups. We can share in different places. Who knows what will become viral? Okay. So idea is that these things have to become viral.
I think I'll try to help in that context.
Okay. So you could show me the edited portion, sir. Are you okay? Then I could give ideas and then we can release on the YouTube. So how did we do today so much so far?
I enjoyed it a lot because there was a lot of metaphors, and I love metaphors, and I love to get more deeper, more like we spoke about different music, different combinations, different expressions of it. So I really loved understanding things more deeply. And I'll just share one more metaphor in the same context that we were talking about, like God's help. One metaphor just came to my mind about like those who help themselves is like us drop. For example, God is like the pond, is the environment of the pond, and those who help themselves are the ones who refer to dropping a drop of water into the pond, and the help that we receive is the ripple effect that is created, right? I mean, we are just pouring one drop into the entire environment, but God's help is the entire ripple that it creates in that drop. So that's one more metaphor that I just thought about. I thought I'll just share. So I really liked all the different perspectives, especially when we all started sharing. Though we're talking about the same light, we had so many different perspectives to understand, and it gave more clarity to what we are trying to imbibe in ourselves. So, yeah, thank you.
Neha, you felt it was useful, this technique of exploring some statements like this?
Yes, sir, definitely. So even I felt the same. Like even though the proverb were the same, all of us had very different perspectives to, uh, like link it to our personal reflections and like stories. So I felt, yeah, it was pretty interesting this session.
So like your own understanding became a little bit more refined, little bit as a result of this discussion?
Yes, kind of validated also. So
Yeah, okay.
yeah, I did.
So I mean, so let me take it a little bit further. So I mean, like the macro picture that I have in my mind and based upon my experience, meditative experiences, it is like this, that in the backdrop of this life that we are experiencing on this planet and in any other dimension is some very beautiful, loving, benign, divine presence. It is always there. What we call God, that is what it is. It is called Brahman in Sanskrit. Okay, that is always there. Now there is a famous Upanishad sloka which says Purnamidam Purnamadam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasisate. That sloka celebrates that Brahman. It says Purnamidam Purnamadam Purnat Purnamudachyate, means this is complete, that is complete, everything is complete. I mean, anything that you see around you in creation, everything is complete. Why? Because Purnasya, Purnamidam Purnamadam Purnat Purnamudachyate. Why? Because this is complete, that is complete. Purnamidam Purnamadam. Why? Because Purnat Purnamudachyate. Because that which is complete, Brahman, God, will only produce a work which is complete. A master, perfect artist, how can we find fault in his art? So this universe is a manifestation of the greatest artist, which is God. So that God is complete. Hence, he produces only complete things. Purnamidam, Purnamadam. Rajendra is complete, Saju is complete, Neha is complete, Satyaj is complete, I am complete, Roman is complete. There is no fault in me. The apparent faults that you see in me are actually faults in your eyes. You are faulty, hence you see fault in me. That is what it is saying. Purnamidam, Purnamadam, Purnat, Purnamudachyate. So that criminal is complete. Yes, he is complete. The punishment he is meting out to 10 people is complete. Yes, it is complete. Everything is complete. In this universe, nothing is incomplete. Now, how do you understand this? So, you have to expand your eyes. What you sow, so shall you reap. So, those who are experiencing this criminal's behavior actually have attracted this by their own actions in the past. That's what it is saying. Law of karma says that. Nothing is random in this universe. Everything, accounts are being settled. But from our limited perspective, it seems he is being so cruel. But if you knew how much cruelty he was exposed to in the past, then we will feel sympathy. So, is God vindictive? No, God is a teacher. Now, how God is teaching in this example? Painful example. God is teaching through experiences. It is experiential learning. When you experience pain and the pain becomes too much, you will take corrective action at some point of time. So this is the self-regulating mechanism of the universe. Pain increases, 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 increases. It reaches the breaking point. And many people from the breaking point take a U-turn and start to help themselves. Some people get broken. But doesn't matter, God, the great creator, will create them again, give them another body to learn. So is God a dictator? No. Is God a teacher? Kind of. Silent teacher, doesn't speak. Lets the experience teach. So when I said that conscious experiencing versus unconscious experiencing, that is why conscious experiencing is important, because God wants you to learn. God wants you to learn. So gives you experiences which you need, which you yourself have created. Now how he knows that you need? Because you have created that. Are you getting me? I'm trying to express the most complicated thing that, is at the root of the law of karma. Why law of karma? Why tit for tat? It's not tit for tat. It's experiential learning mechanism. The deepest learning happens through experiencing. The deepest learning happens through experiencing. So that is why the universe is designed like that. We at Earth are now going to experience, or we are already starting to experience, some painful consequences of our actions. But if this pain doesn't come, Corona came, no, and we made some corrections in that phase, right? We didn't listen, or we don't listen. We again keep living like that. Again, something will hit us. So this pain is trying to help us to correct our actions. So that is how the universe operates. Okay. So anyway, so where I was, I have lost track a little bit, but it's a side track, but it's important to understand that nothing is incomplete. So Purnamidam, Purnamadam, Purnat, Purnamudachyate. So the Upanishad is teaching us not to judge anything as wrong, as bad, as incomplete. Why? Because everything is manifesting from the perfect God. Purnamidam, Purnamadam, Purnat, Purnamudachyate. And this God is so complete that Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasite. I mean, from this complete God, infinite number of people, infinite number of planets, infinite number of universes have come out. And yet that God remains infinitely complete. See how beautiful that is. That God is infinite, His creation is infinitely complete, and no matter how many infinities come out of this infinity, the infinity remains infinite, complete. So if you can feel the feeling with which this sloka is written, this used to fascinate Einstein the most, this particular sloka. Einstein used to always, contemplate this particular sloka, because it used to move him to tears, because he had become so brilliant that he could perceive God through his physics. Okay, so it used to move him to tears that how beautiful this universe is. Okay, so if we don't find this universe beautiful, actually it is our own lack of ability to perceive in a very complete manner. So from this perspective, if you see, it is related to God helps those who help themselves. It's a complete universe. The system in this universe that is running the universe is a perfect system. There is no injustice in reality. Injustice is only a perception that we are making. Yes, there is injustice. At a limited level, yes, there is. Someone is doing injustice. But there is a cause behind that. Rajendra was saying, that someone who is experiencing injustice has brought it upon himself or herself because of ignorance. So Vyakti, ignorant Vyakti is experiencing this Abhivyakti of the universe. So it's like, if you know how to use the laws of this universe, you can build a much better life for yourself. So in a way, God helps those who help themselves, brings us full circle to our responsibility of helping ourselves. How? How we help ourselves? We help ourselves by correcting our thoughts, words, and actions and feelings. But how we can do that? That is my question. From where is thought coming? I asked no in the beginning. It's an important question. From where is thought coming? Thought is coming from my knowledge. How knowledge is accumulating in me? Through experiences. But do we want random experiences or do we want conscious experiences? We want conscious experiences. We want conscious learning. We don't want to study in lower KG for the whole lifetime. We want to go to the next class and then next class and next class and hopefully become a graduate one day from this university. This university is a university. On the convocation day, let us get our degree. So that is the idea. Till death we learn and learn and learn, and we grow so much in consciousness that we have not only solved our own personal problem, karmic problem of karma, we have dissolved all our karma. Karma is unconsciousness. Okay, we have dissolved all our unconsciousness, and now we have become a conscious co-creator with the Almighty. That is called master, a master. Amma is a master. So what happens is that once Amma was asked, Amma, the source of all your knowledge is what? How do you know so much? You studied only till standard 4, but you can teach even postgrad, no doctorates. How it is like that? So Amma told that, basically I emptied myself. She gave this answer. At University of Buffalo, when she was given the honorary doctorate, they asked her, and she told that, I just emptied myself. And she stopped there. She didn't tell what happened because of emptying herself. That is for you to contemplate and understand. What she meant was, I'm trying to explain what she told was, when you empty yourself, what Rajendra said, you have to get rid of the Vyakti, personality. Mukti is from the person. He told, no? So he was referring to that only, emptying of myself. So when I empty my mind of all my preconceived notions and programmings, that is becoming empty. So when no program is inside me, no bias is inside me, I no longer react to what is happening outside. From that stage of consciousness, I know already why this is happening or that is happening. So I no longer am taken by surprise or I am no longer reacting. So what I do now? I become a co-creator with God. How? And why only me? This is a very deep question. How do I explain this? It is like each one of us can only do what is natural for us. When we are at that level of perception, we know that we have no arms. God has no other arms but mine. And everyone on this earth is a part of God's body. So at that level of consciousness, we have become one with the head of the family. And that head of the family's peculiar nature is that it's silent witness. Brahman is silent witness, okay. Shiva is completely still, okay. Then what happens? In a way, our heart becomes God's heart. Our mind becomes God's mind. Our arms become God's arms. And naturally, we are now helping each other because they are a part of our family. So, as you start helping yourself, slowly, you reach that place in consciousness where everything becomes very absolutely clear to you and you are happy, but now you want to bring happiness to others. And this happiness is now coming through wisdom. You have gained wisdom and now you help others to gain that wisdom. In that light of wisdom, everything makes sense. So, no, it is time to stop. I will just want you to give a 4 or 5 minute summary of what you are taking from today's class so that maybe we can make this short video also, this part. The take home for you today, from today, what you got. Because I can go on and on, there is no point beyond a certain limit. No, we have to absorb what we have heard so much, so far. What stays with you? That you could share and then you can wind up today.
Sir, it was about experiences. From where this we started our discussion from the concept where do these words originate. Then we came to know that it is out of our knowledge, and from where that knowledge was developed, we realized that it's out of experience. This knowledge has developed, and in between there is an interpretation process maybe, and that can be in an intelligent way or in a foolish way. So if we intelligently do it, then our knowledge will enhance. That will help us to grow our light one day. And on the other, the next important was the discussions we have on a common topic statement: God helps those who help themselves. So we realized the fact that the universe is a system which is meant to help we all if our intention is pure, and if we are ready to do our work sincerely, and if we do our duty, then God will always make this system in such a beautiful manner that it will start helping you to reach where we actually want to reach.
Yeah. So like God is not like some person, or it's basically the highest wisdom in this universe which runs the whole program, and as we evolve upwards, it starts to help us to become happier and happier and happier, and also more empowered to contribute. No, we need not remain takers whole life. No, we can also become givers and contributors as we gain more and more. No, in a way we become richer from inside, so we can give more. That is the idea. But then to become rich from inside, we have to do the work inside, no, of gaining wisdom. Okay, okay, thank you. Neha, you want to say something?
No, sir. I have the same ones.
Similar point, same point.
Similar ones.
Anything which struck you, like which was new
One
to you today?
one would be paying conscious attention, because again I feel all of us experience different things but in very different ways because of our limited awareness and biases. Um, but that again I'm not very sure how to be sure if our attention was paid in the best possible way, and how we interpret um an experience so that it's not faulty based on our biases.
Yeah, so actually, no, that's a very important question. So, do you mind if I just take 1 minute to give my perspective on what you said?
Sure, sure.
So, no, we should not be no anxious about whether my interpretation of my experience is correct or not,
Mm.
because that will be like disempowering for ourselves. Because what else can we do? See, we can only make our best effort, is it not?
Right.
So, in any given moment, our best effort is our best effort. We can't do more than that, right? Now, when we know the value of this process, then we'll not have this anxiety, because when we pay conscious attention to our experiences, we gain some insights.
Right.
Now, some insights are better than no insights. So, when you gain some insights, to that extent, your future behavior and future thinking will be more intelligent. That is why this process of processing our experiences consciously is very useful. So when I used to make you write learning diaries, that is what I was trying to do. I was trying to help you to process your experiences in the class. Whatever you received in the class, you process that consciously. Only then learning diary can be written. So when you remember in those days when you were writing your learning diary, your knowledge was increasing very rapidly. You remember those days.
Yes, sir.
So that is what the power of writing diary. For example, it will not be a bad idea. I'm not saying that you should do it, but in case you want to do it and you could do it, at least sometimes in these sessions when you are like in your workspace, you have some time. Maybe sit and write down what you gained from this today's session, for example. Like a learning. If I have to submit to Rajiv sir, what I will write? So learning diary. So if you write that, that will become your treasure. Sravana Manana, you listen to me, then you contemplated and listen to others also. You contemplated and then they became your treasure. Nidhi is treasure. So it's a reflective writing or reflective processing is very important. So whatever experience has happened, processing it is very important. Then you will notice that typically for everyone, experiences are repetitive. People change. Places change, jobs change, but the patterns are similar. We think that this place is bad, we go to some other place, and again you see somehow the same circumstances created. You may have experienced that, and you may be wondering how it is. Then you think, I am jinxed, I am unfortunate. It's not like that. For some reason, the universe wants to teach you some lessons. So it is creating the same situation again and again. Now, what happens when you start to pay conscious attention? You start to learn your lessons very rapidly. Then what happens? The lessons change. And when you are improving in consciousness, the lessons as they change, they become less painful and more pleasant. It's as if you start to feel as if there is some divine power or entity which wants to reward me for my work. But it is not that God is anti-wealth or anti-creativity or anti-abundance. It's not like that. You realize that only when you start to grow your consciousness consciously. See, all of us are generally increasing our experiences day by day. But when your experiences are not consciously created, they are kind of very random. Then we don't make our lessons, learn our lessons. Okay, so that is what it is. So, for me personally, it was one of my themes which I had to learn in this lifetime. That was attachment. My nature from childhood was I will become very emotionally attached to people. If any friend or someone becomes close to me, even a pet or a book or something, if someone gives me a gift, I will not lose it. I'll try to preserve it. But slowly, I had a lot of painful experiences from very close friends and very close people to me. So that taught me that maybe I have to stop expecting from people. I became aware that I can't force someone to behave in a certain manner. I can only control my emotions. I can't force others to feel towards me in a certain manner. So this perspective, it's a very realistic perspective, but to absorb this at the level of our consciousness, where you start to behave like that you give love, you give affection, but you don't expect that they will reciprocate. Then what happens? You are in a space of love. You can give without expecting anything in return. Then what happens is that the other person can't hurt you. But this lesson I learned through conscious processing of my experiences. Repeatedly, it was happening to me. Betrayal or wounding by common people that you feel close to. It has been a constant theme of my life. Then as I learned astrology, I realized, in my nakshatra in which I was born, Pusha nakshatra, the moon was in Pusha nakshatra. That is the theme of this nakshatra. It is supposed to be the most, out of 27 nakshatras, it is supposed to be the most god-like nakshatra. There are three types of tamasic nakshatras, rajasic and sattvic nakshatra. It is the most sattvic nakshatra. These people are like unconditionally loving and unconditionally forgiving and caring, like a mother. Symbol is cow's udder. Cow's udder only gives milk. So these people born in my nakshatra, they only want to give love and give care, give affection. But often they are wounded by people that they love. So why God is giving this wounding to the most beautiful people out of 27 nakshatras? Because God wants these people to go from humanity to divinity. Because when you are human, you give love, you expect love. But as you become divine, you give love and you don't expect anything. You give love because you are love. But as human, you give love because you have love. That is the difference. When you are divine being like Amma, you give love because you are love. God is love. God doesn't have love. God is love. Now don't mistake me and think, God is love means God is not wisdom. No, God is wisdom also. All the great qualities you can imagine, God is all that and much, much more. So idea is that that is the journey from humanity to divinity, from animal instinct to humanity, and from humanity to divinity. So God is such a great teacher that he is not satisfied with his child. No matter how much you learn, he says, my child, I can teach you more. He is an infinite teacher. Are you with me? But only thing is that as you go to higher classes, the classes become less painful and more beautiful and more blissful. Then you can, laugh even when it is paining. It may be a very weird statement, but physical illness also may be there and still you can be happy. They are not connected. You have happiness and physical illness. Okay. You become like Shiva, no? You can hold lot of poison and still be happy. At that stage, you become a co-creator with God. Personally, I felt very happy in today's session. I felt that I could speak from my heart a lot and not hiding anything. And I hope I didn't bore you, but okay.
No, sir.
Okay. Okay. So we'll end here.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Thank you.
Okay.